हादसे कुछ ऐसे हो जाते हैं कि रुख वो जिंदगी का मोड़ जाते हैं, और छीन कर हमसे कुछ अपनों को वो बेरंग जिंदगी को कर जाते हैं। पर ये सफर रुकता नहीं किसी के आगे, झुकता नहीं, माना के आज हम हैं पर ज्यादा भी टिकता नहीं। ऐ जिंदगी तू जिंदा है तो आवाज दे, आवाज दे। ऐ जिंदगी तू जिंदा है तो आवाज दे, आवाज दे।
Never will I forget the love that survived and the strength you still give to me, survived through your memory. Never will I forget, oh no, never will I forget, oh no, never could I forget. I can still see the coffee you spilled on that shirt, the one that you changed out of before you left for work. You were in a rush, but you kissed me softly. Oh, if I knew that was the end.
जिंदगी तू जिंदा है तो आवाज दे, आवाज दे। ऐ जिंदगी तू जिंदा है तो आवाज दे, आवाज दे।
This time, 19 years ago, that was when the horrific tragedy occurred of 9/11. And of course, when we think back to 9/11 and we look back in history, we think back to the days of Pearl Harbor, where FDR described Pearl Harbor to be a day that would live on in infamy. On this day, 19 years ago, when the attacks took place in Manhattan, President George W. Bush at the time also reminded us of FDR's words that 9/11, September 11, 2001 will also be a day that lives on in infamy. But at the time, it was, of course, it was a time in which, despite our differences, the country came together and we all stood together. It was all about basically honoring the legacy and honoring those great individuals, the souls who lost their lives due to the horrific incident of 9/11. And every year, whenever the 9/11 memorial actually, when it occurs, we all tend to remember those names, but it's always about healing. It's about healing and presenting a form of healing to those who still suffer the aftermath of 9/11, whether they might have lost a loved one or also any sort of tragic memories. In fact, during the during the 9/11 memorial from Palm 23. Second Lady Karen Pence offered a special, did a very, very beautiful recitation about, in which it stated that there is a time for everything. And of course, we know that as the memorials and as the anniversaries come about, it's a time for healing. And so hence, when we tend to think about it, that we'll never forget that day. But of course, in the same sense, whenever we remember that horrific and tragic day, we do hope to present a sense of a form of healing. And I think that this year, on behalf of World Western Films, something that offers a sense of healing is a music video, which you saw a few moments ago. And joining with me on deck is a number of individuals, that's come together to make this project possible. We have the honor of having none other than Melissa Singh Khan, who is actually the producer and the director of Western World Films. And also joining with her as well is actually a published author who chose to write about the project, Joe Capricoso, who also joins with us on deck, the lead actor of this music video as well, no stranger to the South Asian community, model and of course actor as well, and also very popular and very well known amongst the ITV Gold family, Mr. Eric Diamani, and involved in this background sound for the English track, actually, because this song was, there's two tracks to it, one with a Sufi version and then also with English as well, in collaboration with DJ Fahad. He's none other than Dan Perry. He also joins with us as well. So thank you all so much for being here for today's program. It's my pleasure having all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right, so first off, let me start off with our producer and also our director, Melissa. So first off, I met you about a year ago, and I remember, in fact, you offered me a special part in the project, and due to schedules, conflicting schedules, I couldn't be a part of it. I regret it to this day. But tell me, the whole idea of Never Will I Forget, actually, how did this come about for you?
Okay, so to be honest with you, we started the project about a year ago, just like you had said when we had met. And we were doing the project because we were given a song, and the song that we were given, it was a beautiful, it was a beautiful song. However, we, at that time, things happened, and we had to get a different song because the artist that was there, unfortunately, was not allowed to use the song. Okay, so I reached out to a few people like Shubhanam Sadaran from India, Rose Hudson. I reached out to DJ Fawad, who then actually reached out to Mr. Dan Parry, and I said, this is a beautiful concept, a beautiful story, and we wanted to offer healing because, especially now during COVID-19, people have been quarantined, and I know that it was 19 years back, but it is very hard, especially when you're not allowed around your family, your friends, your support system, to get help or to talk to someone or to grieve. I spoke with Joseph because, as you know, he's a published author and everything, and he loved supporting people. He's always loved supporting people. So I said, together, as we come together, I wanted to offer healing so that people could celebrate the lives of people in a different perspective than what is usually shown through media. Every year they show a lot of the horrific things, which we will never forget. But I wanted to kind of show a different perspective on that. I wanted people to understand, show a picture of your loved one, share a memory, share a joke that used to be something that person shared with you. And through those memories, you'll find strength. And so then I reached out, and I needed a strong actor. And, Arik Diamani came on board. And he was phenomenal. Like, he really carried out the emotions through the project. And then, it was hard to find a young lady that would be able to captivate the emotions as well, because, each actor feeds off of each other. And he actually recommended a beautiful young lady, Sakshi Malhotra. And together the two just, made it really happen.
Definitely, and of course, they made it happen, and you spoke about the memories, and you can actually see the emotions, and of course, remembering some very special moments for, well, the lead actor and the actress who's also joined us as well, Sakshi Malhotra. We'll hear from her in a few moments, but I want to come now to Jo Capricoso. As she said, and as I rightfully mentioned, that you're a published author, you chose to write about this project. And as the producer and director said, that every year we'll never forget 9/11. We'll never forget that horrific day. I mean, that happened. But basically, as we recall that day, is it possible that we can basically recall all the moments of that day without really, really focusing on putting the emphasis on the tragedy and the horrific incident that took place? Because we want to basically offer that sense of healing. So without looking at the horrific aspect of it, how do we offer that sense of healing to the families who's lost a loved one?
Well, a lot of the times when we lose someone, we get a sense of despair. We get lost in the past. We start mourning to where sometimes it overtakes us, and it becomes like we become the sadness, and we become a shadow of ourselves. We dwell too much in the past. But the best thing from what I learned from writing with my poetry and my fiction, I write the Sorrow Separation series, and has a lot of loss, but then it's about rebuilding your life. This touched me because when I saw this video, I was like almost in tears looking at this, and I was passionate about writing about this because you have to look at the best of the person. The beautiful, beautiful piece that they have where their love was the most powerful message in this video, and all the wonderful aspects of it. It was perfect, and then it was taken away, and the emotional turmoil that the actress had portrayed was it was so moving to me, especially having the hat in the water, all these different. It just, oh my God, I had to pour my heart and soul into writing about it because I was amazed by these actors, and I'm amazed by Melissa's work, and the sound and everything about it was just such a beautiful, wonderful rendition. And 9/11, you should focus on what made you love that person in the first place, the best of that person. What would they think of you? Would they want you to be spending years, downgrading your life? Would you rise up and you become the best that person made you? Be you, yourself. Don't lose yourself in the tragedy. Rebuild, heal. And I think that's the thing that we don't often see is when we see 9/11, they constantly show the buildings, they show, the sadness, but they don't show the person, the individual time it takes and the individual person going through that trauma. They show the happiness and the sadness. And so we have to, think of that person with our heart and our soul and look at that person and as if the person was still alive and what they would think of us wasting our time just, being stuck in the sadness. Get out of the sadness. Be a better person because of the person. Often we meet people in life and they magnify us. They make us better. Live life to your fullest. Life is too short. So, I was emotionally affected by this piece, and I just wrote my heart out for it. And that's what we need to do is we need to find healing where we can. We have to, show the best of that person that we love so much. Often in our memories, we remember the best things, the best qualities of that person and how they made us better and how we could give back and help others and make them heal through our experiences.
Most definitely, and of course, that there's a lot that we can take away from Joe's from that message actually from Joe. And as he mentioned, actually, that he was moved to tears witnessing the emotion and, of course, the memories of both the actor and the actress. I'm going to come to them in a few moments. But when we talk about that emotion, when we talk about the story of so many people who's lost a loved one. In fact, earlier today, prior to this interview, I happened to scroll on social media, and a good friend of mine she was actually recalling her husband. She was remembering her husband who actually she lost on that day in 2001. So of course, when we look at the betrayal by Sakshi and Eric, we find that resonates well with so many people. So many people can connect to themselves, connect to the actor and the actress in this video. But talking about the music now, the producer and the director basically said that we started off with one song and then it was unfortunate we were not able to use it. So then we decided to go ahead and reach out to a number of individuals who came together to basically create a very beautiful background score music. And so joining with me right about now as we talk about the music, I'm going to pose the next question to Dan. So when you composed the song that was done in English, what were the ideas that that went into making the song? Did you have to basically observe the emotion by the actress Sakshi and then come up with the rhythm, the lyrics, the tune? I mean, give us an idea of to how did the soundtrack come about?
Yeah, for sure. So, like was stating previously, when I watched this, it was just very emotional for me, and I thought, just writing about it, definitely seeing the emotion on the actor and the actress's face just like really hit home with me, because so I was born in 1999. So I was very, very young when 9/11 happened. So, but growing up, every year we'd watch we'd watch the televised cast. Basically the towers were falling. It just became a big part of my younger years and even till now. So when I saw this, I was just imagining, I was like, think of the people that lost their loved ones. And now like this year without being able to have the memorial, and even if the memorial is taking place, just like the pain and brokenness over this. And so I talked with Fawad, we started talking, and then I just started just writing and as if I had lost that person, which is you can never fully do because you can't compare to like someone who's lost something. So I just took loss in my life and just wrote from that. And then yeah, that's how the lyrics started to come together, and I worked with Fawad on that. But yeah, that was basically the progression of the lyrics. So
all right, as I have, as we're talking about the lyrics and the music, and as you said, that you were maybe about a year or 2 years actually when 9/11 happened, and we find that there's a generation that was born right after 9/11 that, of course, I mean, the horrific incident, though they didn't experience it, but yet they know the travesty and the pain that so many people have suffered. And when you're trying to capture that emotion and that whole sentiment of actually recalling and the emotion that's displayed by Sakshi remembering Eric, actually, was there ever a point in time where you basically said, okay, maybe this doesn't capture the emotion right? We have to like revisit the drawing board and like, construct something new. I mean, let us know about the recreation process. I mean, did you guys revisit the drawing board several times when composing the song?
It was actually surprisingly pretty, it was pretty linear. In the sense that when we started, we kept going from what we started with. I would say Fawad helped me revisit a couple parts with a couple verses saying, hey, like, maybe this idea or this theme would help tie in with focusing more on the memory as opposed to the hurt, or giving ideas like that. So there were a couple times where I went back in verse 2 and 3 and was like, okay, I want to figure out how I can focus on how the memory of this person is actually healing. It's, I guess the analogy that I took with it when writing was like America was a rod of steel, right? And 9/11 broke that rod. But through a season of welding and extreme heat and pain, that rod comes together and it comes together stronger. So there was a season of pain, and it takes a season of pain to come out stronger. So I've just we were going with that theme, and then how the memory of the loved one being lost heals. And it's not like the writer was saying, was basically, it's not to just be down in sadness for 19 years. It's to, go through that season of pain, but take up that that strength through their memory and keep pushing on in their honor. So, but yeah, that as far as rewriting, not a whole lot, just a couple spots, and Fawad was really helpful when it came to that.
So of course, as we talk about the music, whether it's done in English or whether it's the Hindi version, the music is beautiful. And throughout this interview, I mean, as you've heard the Hindi version at the very beginning, we'll have the English version actually in a few moments. But I want to now come to our lead actors, our star. First off, let me talk to Eric. Actually, like I said, that you're no stranger to the South Asian community, and I've watched a lot of your performances. I mean, I watch you work, I watch you dance on social media with a lot of my good friends, and also MC as well. I know you've MC'd a few events as well. So watching you in this video was truly an honor. Now, getting into the role of a first respondent, and also at the same time, that romantic aspect of it with Sakshi, I want to, is it two separate people that you basically had to, draw that energy and that inspiration from to create this character? One of a first respondent, and two, is it like you draw that energy from someone who was a first respondent and someone who was basically about to, start his life with his better half, unfortunately, lost his life to becoming a first respondent and a hero on 9/11. Let's get a whole feel of your character.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much, Imran and ITV Gold Park Media. I'm very grateful for all the love for all these years, I have received from ITV Gold. So basically 9/11 was a global tragedy. It impacted the entire world. The people who were the victims, including so many first responders from 115 countries. And from most victims of emergency workers were the firefighters, almost 350 of them. So when Melissa approached me for with this song, as an artist, as an actor, we always want to do meaningful characters. So when it came to this, I felt, wow, that is an honor in itself, because how do you show gratitude to the people, the reason we are alive, or the reason they gave up their lives, and we are able to talk about them? So when it came to portraying that character of a firefighter, because it was such a human experience to go through that tragedy for entire world, it was just, it took me so deep inside it was not a character for me. It was a human experience which every individual goes through. Even though we had 3,000 victims, but connecting that story to a person, that each one of them who died, they had a story. They had loved ones, they had dreams, they had aspirations. So how connecting to a one couple, that it individualizes and it also globalizes the entire experience. So it was just absolutely beautiful. It was an honor for me to play this character. And I just imagined that the firefighter or any person who died there, what were their thoughts when they were dying? Their memories were exactly up to that point. That's all they took, all the love they had with their loved ones, they took that with them. And at that moment, all the memories and experience for the rest of the people who are left behind, that's the treasure they have to cherish with. So this video was a glue that how do we move on? Because we want to kill ourselves. When our loved ones are gone, we see, oh, what's the point of my life? Why do I live anymore? We choose to live because they gave up their lives so we can move on. What would the people want? What would the victims want for their family to do? They would want them to remember them in their hearts and also move on with their lives, because that's what human life is. So this was my inspiration, and it just became so beautifully. And last thing I would say, even though the first song didn't work, but how God, universe works it out. the people who made this song happen, they are from all over the world. And that's the beauty of it, that it's a healing for the entire world in itself.
Well, without further ado, we're now going to talk to the lady of the hour. I mean, we often refer to the man of the hour, but the lady of the hour, Sakshi Malhotra, who plays a very beautiful and an emotional role in this video. Sakshi, welcome to you and good to have you on.
Thank you so much. I am so blessed to be hearing all these nice things about the video and the response that we've been getting. I am so thankful to all of you for having me here today. And thank you, Melissa, first of all, for believing in me, my very important and very close colleague and friend, and my mentor, Eric. Thank you so much for the belief that you had in me for this video. And I'm so happy to be seeing the response that we have been getting. And I really want to add here that this video hit so close to home for me because I had actually recently moved out of New York when this project came my way. And the reason for me to move out was a personal loss that happened in New York. And when I was shooting this video, I was able to bring all those emotions of pain that I was feeling personally to the table so that I could connect with our audiences in a way to let them know that they are not alone in the process of feeling that if they have lost someone, whether it's in life or death. I am going through that process myself, and the mourning of having somebody gone forever without having said the final goodbye, I could relate with it so much. And I think that has been justified, and the way we saw it on screen, me mourning for the death of Eric, because it's a young couple that barely could start anything in their life. They couldn't start a family, and they just said goodbye to each other, going to work in the morning and never got to see each other again. Something like that, you know, happened very personally for me. So I'm really glad that this project came my way. It felt like a redemption, and all said and done, the release has been a very pleasant surprise for me. And thank you so much, everybody, for having me here.
Together and walk out the door and put the flag in the sea. Drive those familiar roads to engraved stones where you rest in peace. Through the smoke and burning debris, there's a flag and it says something. Through the smoke and burning debris, there's a flag and oh.